up? It's a Wee Natter. I'm Mark Steele, and across the table from me is...
Jenny Steele.
And we are joining you on the week that we made the fatal mistake of trying to get furniture delivered.
We did.
Got told it would be an afternoon delivery. That's what all these delivery companies do nowadays. They give you a rough slot when they're going to turn up. So we thought, all right, if they turn up in the afternoon, we'll nip out in the morning, run some errands. And the moment you step out the door, you get a call, don't you, saying they're here?
Yeah.
At least they didn't do the parcel delivery special and leave a sofa in the hedge. So I think we're on to a winner there. And talking of deliveries, the post bag has arrived. And last time, if you happen to be listening to this fine podcast, dear listener, you may have heard us ask what seemed like a good idea in theory, but not so much in practice. Slap Ups has been in touch saying tap and go. It was supposed to make the supermarket checkout experience much quicker, but in reality it takes 3 times as long because of, I don't know my PIN number, or, I'll have to transfer some money and such like. Now you see, Slap Ups, I'm going to disagree on that one because I use the self-checkout, paid by bonk, lets you cut the queue as well.
Yeah.
Because there's usually only half the checkouts you can use cash on. I pay by bonk, so I get to cut the queue. So I'm very happy with that. I'm loving life. I'm not going to complain about being a VIP, although the fact everyone knows about Fast Track has ruined Argos now, I must say, because everyone tries to use the fast lane and it's no longer faster.
That's true.
Yes, it's kind of gone out the window there. Age has also been in touch saying, what seemed like a good idea is the night a few years back where I decided that, indeed, I will eat 8 scrumptious chocolate donuts in the pack in one sitting. Surely it's just more of the good stuff, right? Oh, what could possibly go wrong? Let's just say quite a bit can go wrong. Oh, my tummy, and a case of the trots as well. Clearly, Age, you've had that moment where, and this is one where we all realise you're an adult now. You've had that moment, haven't you?
Oh, yeah.
I'm an adult now. I can eat anything anytime I want. Ice cream for breakfast? Who's going to stop you? You're allowed to do it. Who is going to stop you eating ice cream at breakfast?
Nobody.
Exactly. But then you learn there's consequences, don't you?
Oh, yes.
For me, the consequence is usually I can't fit into my own trousers anywhere. But on that note, I'd like to have a Wee Natter. Now, I can't tell you why this popped into my head, but you know when you remortgage your house, get lucky with the strikes, and actually manage to take a train?
Yeah.
You know what all these stars happen to line up, and you get on a train, and there's only one spare seat in the carriage. You take it, wouldn't you? You
would, yes.
Doesn't matter who's sitting there, you're going to be taking that spare seat, aren't you?
I don't know now. You said doesn't matter who be sitting. What if it's somebody that smells?
Okay, well imagine it's not that. Well, imagine it's your average citizen is sitting there in the seat next to you. You take that seat.
It, yeah.
Yeah. Now imagine your journey continues and most of the carriage empties as people get off at the next few stations. The carriage is getting emptier and emptier and emptier. Do you move or do you stay sitting to next to the one other person left in the carriage?
You see, I move, and I do this all the time. When I'm on a bus, if I, heaven forbid, I have to sit next to somebody on a bus, because I hate people. I hate sitting next to people on public transport. I've got to be honest. I'd rather have a seat to myself. And in the couple of times where I've had to end up sitting next to someone, as soon as that person's got off, like a seat in front or whatever, and there's an empty seat, I do get up and I do sit on that seat.
So you're not the sort of person that strikes up conversation and makes friends and finds out about the drug culture of rural Fife on the buses. That's how I find out what goes on. It shocked me. I learned a lot that day. But let's imagine it's the other way round. You're sitting there already. Somebody else comes to sit next to you. The carriage empties out. They move away. Would you be offended in that scenario?
I don't think I would, because it's something that I do anyway. So I probably think they're like me. They want a seat to themselves and may want to, lounge out, or they've got bags or something that they want to put on the seat next to them rather than try and hold them in between your legs on the floor. So, no, I don't think I would. I'm
not sure what I do. I genuinely haven't come up with a conclusion exactly what I do there. But I would just be happy we're not enjoying reheated fish with a techno soundtrack. That's what usually happens in trains. So long as we're above that level, we're great. And we wonder why office workers want to stay at home.
Oh, yes. I want to talk about toilet bowls. Bowls.
Not toilet rolls.
Not toilet rolls.
What we stocked up on massively as a people over COVID. I still haven't got my head around that one. People were genuinely filling their garages with toilet. We're going to look back at that in clips and footage in 20 years' time and go, did we really do that? And there were genuinely people who, they bought all the toilet roll, realised they couldn't use that much in an entire lifetime, tried to bring it back and get told, screw you.
What's the link between pasta and toilet roll, though?
One you can eat, one you can deal with the eating of the other with. It's all interconnected.
So mine was literally, I was out having a bit of a walk around our local country park the other day, and I thought, I just needed a wee at the end of it. So I thought, well, I'll just go to the loo. Nice, always kept nice, I've got to be honest. And then you're going in there and you're in your little cubicle, and then somebody knocks on the main door coming in, because a lot of toilets now, they get male and female attendants coming in, don't they? Which I've got no problem with. But the thing that kind of shook me, well, I don't know if shook me is the right word, but surprised me a bit, was the guy was going around knocking on people in the cubicles, asking if their toilet bowl was all right.
Not knocking on people in the cubicles. Do you mean knocking on the doors
knocking
of the cubicles?
on the doors of the cubicles.
I was about to say, actually reaching over the door and knocking on somebody's head would be a bit of an extreme way to ask a question.
Asking, because he's going to, is your toilet bowl all right? And I'm like, well, it was when I came in, but it's not going to be in a minute. But then you don't want to come out of the toilet then, do you? Because there's no toilet brush in there, and you're hoping to God that they've gone. And I'm claustrophobic, so if it's not a certain lock, I can't shut the toilet door. I have to wedge it with my rucksack. But luckily, these were the ones that had a lock on that didn't worry me, so I was able to lock it. Because had they unlocked and come in, wow, what a shock. But I've just thought, is that me, or it's just the way, is your toilet bowl all right?
I can't say I've been asked that question. There's just, I've had the whole hurry up and things like that. But there are scenarios where you just need to hide who you are when you're on the way out. I won't get into the details. You can figure it out for yourselves, dear listener. But there are times where you don't want people to realise it's you. So I think, as well as having, sanitary towels and toilet roll and whatever else you happen to have in toilets, I think you should have like an emergency disguise kit where like a moustache, some glasses and a fake nose, just in case you need to walk away with deniability. I know how I'm going to sound saying this, dear listener, and I can already see across the table from Jenny, she's looking a bit, what is he up to now? But there are some things in life that are just rubbish, let's be honest. I like my attempt at fixing the fence after the high winds we've had.
Oh, yes.
Bodgett and Scarborough Enterprises Limited could not have done a better job. But there are some things that just bring joy, don't they? So you have the rubbish bits and you have the joyful bits. Take, for example, Jenny's attempt at drawing a snowy scene, dear. We're not going to share the work. I'm not going to embarrass you.
Are you sure? I might take a picture and stick it on Sooty's page.
Yeah, so I'm not going to share it. But how would you describe it?
It looks like the work of a 2-year-old.
And what was your reaction when you saw it?
I absolutely couldn't stop laughing. I was like in hysterics because I was trying to draw a mimation. That's how you say it, isn't it? See, I saw this card and it had a snowy scene, it had a tree, and it had some red berries on the tree, and it had the shadow of the branches on the snow, and it had in the sky some birds doing the mimation. And I tried to do that, but my birds, all I can draw, because I'm really rubbish at drawing, all I can draw is a beak and a head. So my birds look like dinosaurs flying in the sky.
I'll be honest, compared to my artwork, it was pretty reasonable. It was pretty crummy.
Do you think so?
Yeah, it was a good attempt. Clearly, you're not a professional artist, but you got your point across, you got your message across. And I can't believe I'm going to confess this here on this here podcast, dear listener. I feel like I should have lots of reverb and we should be, as I'm confessing this. It's like confessing my sins here. I do wonder if anyone else did this as well, but you remember in art class, way back in school when we were all forced to do it for a couple of years, you'd create your artwork and then the teacher would show it off at the end and maybe criticise it a little bit as they were going through it. Did you have that in art class?
We did do art, but I don't remember anybody's work being maybe it just was my work that was never shown off. We just had to draw a vase with some flowers in. I couldn't even cope with that.
Well, for whatever reason, the art class I had at school, they used to have a sort of showing off bit at the end. And the problem I had is I would start laughing at everybody's work. It's not I was trying to be, evil or having a go at anyone. I would just see it and I would just burst out laughing.
I'm like that when I go to a karaoke.
Yeah. Uncontrolled. The best bit, I couldn't hold it back. It was uncontrollable. It wasn't like I was trying to be evil or awkward or anything like that. So I'm sniggering away. The teacher's obviously getting more and more hacked off till they finally go, right then, let's show your stuff. And I burst out laughing even harder because I knew how rubbish my work was. So if anyone else does that, I'd love to hear that. But it also did got me wondering, what are the small things in life that make you happy? There's your little artwork. Myself, it's starting a new project. You get a new thing to start on. I never finish a project. I've never finished a project in my life. But I've got lots of them I've started. I don't know if that's a good thing. So I'm going to open it up to you, dear listener. What are these small things in life that make you happy and joyful and bring a bit of happiness into your world?
Mine's having the birds come to my bird table, especially the couple of robins.
You like a pair of robins?
Yeah.
Well, fair enough. At Solid Radio UK or at Solid Sooty on the socials, or if you're on Spotify, you'll have a little pop-up, you can tap on it and stick your answer in there, and we will share your responses in the next episode.
One of our regular listeners, Age, we were having a bit of a chat on Facebook, and he said this is a bit of a something for a wee natter. What do you think about, you can get quite a lot of charity shops around that you take donations, knock on the door, drop in, whatever.
Yeah.
What do you think about people leaving donations outside of the shop when the shop's shut? Because Age thinks that shouldn't be a thing because I'm guessing they can get stolen or whatever, they just get dumped outside the shop. But what's everybody's thoughts on people leaving gifts or whatever you want to, contributions or whatever to charity shops when the charity shop is closed?
Now, I don't ever want to put people off supporting charities and the causes that, the good causes that they want to support in life. But 99.999% of those charity shops have a sign above them that says, when we're not open, please don't leave donations outside the front door, mainly because the bin men will run off of it in the morning. Not that they're trying to steal it, they just see it as bags of rubbish and away off it goes. So I see where you're coming from there, and I can see why you don't want to litter the place. But I also wouldn't want to put people off donating to charities. So
it's tricky.
How do you make that work? And I guess one of the ways you could have a giant, almost like you used to have with banks, that little drawer that you pull out and stick the money bags in.
Yeah.
This is going back in time, dear listener, because they don't even do that for shops nowadays. They make you stand at the post office. But it used to be, if you had to take the money into the bank, you'd stick it in the night safe, I think they called it, and it would fall in and away it went. Maybe every charity shop, and maybe the government needs to pay for it to go in.
Yeah.
Just give up.
Be a big one.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. It would have to literally be like one side of the front of the shop.
Yeah.
Yeah, pull it down. You'll need somebody tall next year. You'll need it like motorised or something. Flashing lights and donation in progress.
That'd be cool, that, wouldn't it?
And you chuck it in and it goes in. So long as it then didn't get crushed accidentally. I think that would be a brilliant scheme.
I do.
I have got a very important question for you, dear listener, and you, Jenny, as well. How do you make a cup of tea? No, seriously, it turns out there's an international standard for making a cup of tea. How do you make yours?
Well, you say I always make it wrong anyway because I put the milk in before I put the water in. So it's basically bit of sweetener, tea bag, milk, bung your water in, stirrer, take the tea bag out. That's it.
Now, your milk action is in line with the international standard.
Is it?
If the test involves milk, then it's added to the bowl before pouring infused tea into it. Unless it's contrary to the organisation's normal practice.
Oh, we've got our normal practice now, have we?
Yeah, you can do it the other way around as well. So the standard lets you put the milk in before the tea or the tea in before the milk. However, it's got a whole bunch of other stuff in here, like the pot that you make the tea in. You're not allowed to make it in the cup.
I don't use teapots.
Oh, screwed up already there. The pot should be white porcelain or glazed earthenware and have a partially serrated edge. It should have a lid that fits loosely inside the pot, mainly so it can leak everywhere.
Where's the serrated edge? Not where the handle is it? I'm picking it up with serrated edge on handle.
I don't think eyes are hoping to chop your hand off there. But apparently there's also some disagreement about this standard. It sounds like you're disagreeing, going, well, hang on a minute.
Sure about the serrated edge.
Yeah, I'm not happy with the serrated edge. Apparently there's a question whether the pot should be pre-warmed.
My mum used to do that. Bit of boiling water and swizzle it around, chuck it down the sink, and then put your tea bag. No, we didn't have tea bags then. It was loose tea, but then you had to get a tea strainer. And if you forgot your tea strainer, you just had a cup of tea leaves. It's all technical, you know.
It is all very technical. It sounds like you're up there with Ireland. They didn't back the standard either.
She was Irish.
Well, there we go. We've got it all sorted. And it got me wondering, is there an official standard for everything? Because there's an official standard for how to make a cup of tea. Is there an official standard for how to open a door? Or official standard for preparing for the in-laws to visit?
Oh, you just get everything out that you hid that you don't like, and then they think that you've had them up all the time, don't they? Your little ornaments or whatever.
I just pretend I'm not in.
This week saw me and Mark take Sooty to the vets. It was booster time, wasn't it? It was booster time.
That makes it sound like she's either got rocket packs on the back of her, or that she's been riding in a kiddie seat or something.
But what kind of made like me and Mark laugh? Because when I got my email from the vets to say Sooty's due a booster, and they were offering a complimentary blood pressure check. Now, I never heard of this for cats before, but apparently cats can suffer with high and low blood pressure. So I thought, complimentary, let's take her along. We'll tab it onto the end of a booster and a checkup. And we gets in there, didn't we, with the vet, and thought we'll do the blood pressure test first before we do the booster, so she doesn't get stressed out. Well, it didn't go very well, did it? Because they couldn't find any pressure, could they?
They couldn't find a pulse.
Couldn't find a pulse. Couldn't find a pulse.
Yeah, so they took her away to a secret room and told us they managed to do the job.
Yeah.
So I'm a little bit suspicious of that, but I'll take the word for it because they are professional vets. But you talking about cats having blood pressure issues and whatnot, it's got me wondering, do they put cats on warfarin and Viagra depending what blood pressure problems they've got?
I don't know, but we were waiting for the vet to test it on herself, weren't we? Because she must have done poor old Soot about 3 times, did the bit of a shave of her first so they could obviously get it on and everything, and 3 times, and in the end she eventually did try it on herself. She's like, I haven't got a pulse either.
Good news, both the cat and the vet are undead. In case you've not noticed, dear listener, and you, Jenny, as well, it is that brilliant time of the year when cream eggs are available.
I think you could have told me it's Pancake Day. That's coming up.
No, we're not sponsored, but do you like a cream egg?
I'm not that fussed on them, to be honest. I don't mind the caramel one, the Cadbury's caramels you can get.
If you could get the right number of cream eggs offered to you, how many would that be? If I was going to offer you cream eggs.
I could make do with one cream egg.
One cream egg. So if you were offered 200,000, would you take them?
Wow. Yeah, I'd flog them.
You'd flog them? You're not going to eat them, you just flog them. I wouldn't, with the competition to find the white ones. I hate to think how many people have fondled the wrappers on all those cream eggs.
Is that still going on?
I have no idea. They did it a couple of years ago. I had no idea they're still doing it. But we all know that people are fondling those wrappers are the same ones that don't wash their hands and cough over the rolls in the bakery.
Oh, yeah.
We know about it. But yeah, 200,000 cream eggs, probably a bit on the much side. You're not going to get through that even in a year.
Depends on what day you're having.
Yeah, exactly. But the reason I ask is apparently somebody's facing potential jail time for nicking that many of them.
Really?
Yeah. Admittedly, he was probably just nicking random trailers, but one of them was full of cream eggs. So he's up for 200 cream eggs being nicked. That's amazing.
If he was on the jury, would you keep a straight face when the charges were read? I'd get sent out of court, me.
That's a great way to get out of jury duty. I need to remember that one. But it got me wondering, would you nick a lorry load of... No, I'm not going to ask you that, dear listener. But if I could, take my intake down to less than 200 cream eggs a year, I'm sure my doctor would be happy.
Would.
I can only apologise. That was unfortunately a wee natter, dear listener. I was Mark Steele, and across the table from me was...
Jenny Steele.
And if you enjoyed this fine podcast, remember to hit that subscribe button and you'll get all this joyous wee natter stuff into your ears every single week. The other option is you can search for Solid Radio instead and hit subscribe on that one. You get 2, not 1, 2 Purple Mountains and a whole bunch of other stuff in there as well.
You do.
Which option you pick, it doesn't matter, but you must pick one. Well, you could pick both and you can listen twice, but it'd be a bit weird. It's entirely up to you. The important bit is you tell everyone this fine show, A Wee Natter, does listen, and we'll see you next time.
Yeah, bye.